So welcome to our Instagram live writing workshop. Hi Jazz! Hello. I'll give it some time. I've started this really promptly, which is odd for me. But yeah, I'll give it a bit of time so that people have got the time to join in. But yeah, welcome to the writing workshop. Oh, thank you. It's blue for Blue in my eyeshadow. Thanks, Jazz. Yeah, so we've been doing events all week. Please do go and check them out. They're now all on our YouTube channel. But yeah, it's all been in aid of celebration for our birthday week. There's lots of lovely things coming up as well. We've got another YouTube premiere tonight, which is Anthony Briscoe's work sold out. We've got Instagram live tomorrow at 3, which is with the lovely Lauren Creswell. And then we've got our birthday concert on YouTube tomorrow as well. So yeah, still loads of really good things coming up, so make sure to tune into them. Yeah. So I'm Louise, if you didn't already know me. I'm just part of the Blue Balloon team, and I class myself as a writer. I really enjoy writing poetry, but I also do some other bits and bobs as well. But poetry is like my main thing, like where I feel most at home. So yeah, the whole aim of this workshop is to essentially write some poems. Yeah, so I've got a couple of activities planned for us, and we'll be doing them and getting hopefully some poems written. I should say now though, if I do an activity and you feel like you want to write some other bits as well, if you want to be doing some story writing or some script writing, that's absolutely fine. I had poetry in mind when I planned this just because I love poetry, but it's absolutely fine to just go with it and write whatever you would like to write, absolutely. And I think that I'd just like to say, like, my main reason for kind of like wanting to do something like this is I have found like kind of lockdown in the past year particularly hard in terms of creativity. I know that some people have really thrived with having all the extra time, and that's been really cool to see all the creativity that has come out of having that more time for yourself. I don't know what it is that I've found. I've just like found it hard to kind of connect the dots together and to kind of get to the point where like I feel happy with writing something. And I kind of thought this would be a good idea to kind of have some space where, you know, you can forget the world and what's going on outside, and you can just write and give yourself that time and that freedom to do a bit of writing. And also just, you know, because I think as well, like, I get into the headspace where I only want to write if I think it's going to be good, if I think that by the end of it there's going to be a completely finished piece that, you know, will be published and everyone will love it. But you forget that it's really okay to write things that no one will ever see. It's okay to write things that aren't your best stuff, but you've enjoyed writing them. So yeah, this is really what I was planning with this kind of doing this live, basically, was just to give everyone a bit of time to relax, a bit of time just to enjoy writing, and just, you know, who cares what happens when we write, just it's the freedom and enjoying the creativity. So very much like, yeah, a set of time to put aside to do the writing. And so to do it, you won't need very much. You just need something to write with. I've gone for the traditional paper and pen. Your pen does not have to be as ridiculous as mine is. I just enjoy funky pens. It can be a normal pen though. But yeah, anything that you feel comfortable writing with, that's all you're going to need. And also probably just something to drink. Bit of refreshment there. But yeah, that's all you need really. And the way it's going to work is, like I say, I've got 3 activities to do. They're quite simple things, and they're just designed to kind of get the creative juices going and just have a bit of fun writing it down. They'll take various lengths of time, so I've got like a little one and then like different ones. And I think this is going to go up on our Instagram page afterwards, so if you miss anything or if there was an activity that you really enjoyed, it's going to be on the Instagram live page afterwards, so you can go back through and watch it and try it again if you found it really helpful. Yeah, at the end I'm hoping that there will be some of you that might want to share your own poems. I might have to go into a second live, part 2, because Instagram only gives you like an hour, so we'll see how long it takes, we'll see how we go. But yeah, if I have to start a second one, I will do. And then yeah, all you have to do is request to join the live, and hopefully I'll figure out how to get people in. And then yeah, we can share some poems and share what we've written. But I will emphasise as well, if you don't want to share anything, like I said, the whole point of this is that you write in with your own freedom to create. And if there's stuff that you don't want to share at the end, obviously that's entirely up to you and you can keep that to yourself. But yeah, it would be good if people did want to share some stuff in the next bit. So I'll definitely get that set up so that we can do a bit of poetry. We had on Thursday we had our open mic night, and it was so wonderful. And it just reminded me how much I love writing my own poetry, but I love hearing other people's poems and get inspiration from that. So definitely, if you would like to share some of your poems, that would be great. Cool. So we'll start off with our first activity. As I go along as well, I'll just talk a little bit about my own writing process, just because I find that sometimes that helps to get other opinions on things. But obviously, I'm not supreme writer or anything like that. So these are just things that I found helpful, but they're not necessarily stuff that you should do. It's just that it's how I write, so it might be helpful to you as well. And also, if you did have any questions, you can pop them in the chat as well, and I will try and answer them. I'm not the best at keeping the eye on the chat though, so I will sort of throw that out there. If I miss you, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just really bad at replying to things. Yeah. So the first activity I wanted to do is we're going to start off by writing our own list poem. Now, I love list poems. I really, really love them. A large quantity of my writing collection at the minute is list poems, just because I find them just so easy to write and really fun to write. I like lists in general. I think I do a to-do list every day, or sometimes I just start writing lists about things that I like. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but I love lists, and therefore I love list poems. And I think they're quite a simple structure to follow and quite easy to write as well. So they're always good. The kind of list poems I've got in my collection in a minute, I think I've got one about a breakup, and it's a list of items that are in a room that remind this person about their breakup. I've got other ones as well. I've got lists that are lists of haikus and things like that. So for this activity, we've all been a bit down the dumps. It's all a really bleak time at the moment. So the activity is to write a list of everything that's brought you joy. But specifically this morning, so I'm going to make it quite hard because it is only 3 o'clock, and if you're like me, you had long lions, so I haven't actually been awake for that much of the day so far. But yeah, the writing activity is to write a list of things that have brought you joy this morning. And the kind of advice that I'll kind of give for this one is to be really specific. These kind of things don't have to have huge, massive items on there. It can be the smallest, tiniest thing, but, try and really draw out why that's brought you joy, or, really use words, use description, adjectives, to kind of really explain why this item has brought you joy, this event, this thing has brought you a lot of joy. I think that really helps when you create something like a really concrete image, something really specific that readers can relate to. They can go, oh yeah, I can picture that. I've had that in my life as well. I think that really helps people to kind of connect with your poetry on a really personal level. So that's my advice for writing this one, is just to kind of be as specific as you can. And yeah, just really think about what's brought you joy this morning, has made you really happy. I will time it just because I don't want to go over too much. So I have a kitchen timer with me, because I'm prepared for once. So we'll do 5 minutes. We'll make this a short little introductory writing one. Remember, it's whatever in your head. It's the freedom to write. If you want to put structure and stuff to this and rhyme, you're more than welcome to. But don't feel yourself bogged down by that. Just make sure that you're writing something that you want to write. Okay, if everyone's ready, have your pens. Yeah, so there will be periods of time throughout this live where I'm not really doing much talking because I'm writing. But it will create a bit of a nice zen mood because we're all writing together. So yeah, whenever you're ready, we'll go for 5 minutes and off you go. I should mention you can put as a title for this poem, Things That Brought Me Joy. And that could be the title for your poem. I am sorry for how ridiculous this pen is on Instagram Live. If you're struggling for things about what you maybe have eaten this morning. Did that bring you joy? Think of the weather. Is it like a good day today? Is it the kind of weather that you like? Have you seen something really nice this morning? Maybe you've got something coming up that's making you feel excited. Just a couple of seconds left on that one. Okay. I'll give you another kind of minute or two to finish writing your sentences and things. It's hard to stop mid-sentence. But yeah, that was just like a little warm-up activity. Like I say, I'm a big fan of list poems. And sometimes it's just kind of good to get down on the page, like anything that's really struck you this morning, anything that you've seen in particular that you think would work well in a poem. It's good sometimes just to get it on the page. I think what's good about activities like this as well is you might look at the whole thing, like I'm looking through mine and I'm thinking, okay, the poem as a whole maybe isn't something that I will use, but there's certainly little bits in there, little snippets that I've written down that I think, oh, well, actually this might work well in another poem, so I'll maybe borrow that later on and add it in. So it's always good just to write things down, basically. Give yourself that time to write, give yourself the time to just get whatever's in your head on the page, because you never know where it's going to come in handy later on. There'll be another thing that you're writing or working on and you'll think, oh, this works really well here actually, and you've already got it written down. So just give us another couple of minutes for that. Like I say, do bob in any questions in the chat box, or any comments as well. It'd be good to know if anybody finds these things helpful. The next thing that I had in mind, so this activity is going to sound quite basic and I wondered whether to include it in. However, it is something that I've been finding really helpful at the moment. So basically we're going to be using like a random word generator, except I've made the generator myself. Earlier this week I put on Instagram for people to give me their favourite words, and I was really, really grateful and thankful that like people did respond to that and they've given me some fantastic words. So yeah, so I've collected them all together, and the gist is that we'll pick some words from this pot of words, and we'll use them to write a poem. I started doing this a few weeks ago. I used like an online generator, and I just found it really helpful to kind of like have words that needed to be included in the poem, mostly because you kind of don't know what response you're going to have to words until you see them. So the one that I used, the word popcorn came up, and I never thought about including popcorn in a poem before, but when I actually thought about the word popcorn and what I associated with it, I realised that like I actually weirdly have a strong attachment to the word. And you know, popcorn, of course, it makes you think of like going to the cinema and things, but I realised like there's other things that it makes me think of, like it basically just being with my friends. It made me think of like the times I've been around to friends' houses and they've been serving popcorn, or the times like in the Trafford Centre, I think they have like popcorn vendors, so it made me think of like walking through the Trafford Centre and smelling like the popcorn there, and just that connection with the word made me then sort of write this poem that was a lot to do with friendship and past experiences that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of writing if I hadn't sort of seen that word written down and realised kind of what connection I had to it. So the idea of this next activity is that I'm going to pick some words from a pot. I'm going to pick 5 words, and the challenge is that you have to write a poem that includes all 5 of those words. You don't have to include all of them, because that's the other thing I found. When people set constraints on what you write, sometimes that makes it harder to write, and you don't really want to be just plonking a word in if it really doesn't fit with the thing that you're writing. But it is a good challenge to try and do. The only other thing you can do, if one word comes up that you feel a particularly strong connection to, you can just use that one word and run with it and make a poem based off entirely the word that you've had the strongest connection with. But yeah, I'd say have a think about the words that come up, think about the memories you attach to them, or what, you know, what they kind of remind you of, or just any imagery that comes up with it, and write a poem from that basically. So I have my little leopard pot here. This was 100% a lockdown purchase. I just saw it online and I was like, I want that in my life, and then I've never used it for anything until now. Now it's having a use because it's got all my words written on there. So I'll give it a mix. So yeah, we'll go for 5 words, and then yeah, you can just write down anything that comes to mind with them. So it might be a good idea to write down the words at the top of your page so that you remember, because I know what I'm like. If I didn't have them in front of me, I would probably forget. And I'm hoping to spell everything right in here. Okay, so what's our first one? Our first one is brazen. Hold it up. Brazen. If you don't know what that means, it means like to be bold. If you're a brazen person, you're really bold. But it's not just people that can be brazen. Think of what that might include. Word number 2. So word number 2 is mustard yellow, which is technically 2 words. I think this is Jazz's suggestion. So yeah, mustard yellow. I love that because I have a lot of feelings about the mustard yellow colour. And so yeah, include that. You could also just do mustard or just yellow if you wanted to, but that is your next one. Word number 3. Wild. Wild. So think of what wild means to you. What comes up when you think of the word wild? Word number 4. Remarkable. So another adjective there. Remarkable. I'll go for one more. It's actually quite hard to get them out of here. Probably didn't think this through. And the last word is horse. The word horse, like the animal. I did try and do a good mix of words there. Jazz is putting the words in the comments as well if you wanted them. So just to recap, we have brazen, mustard yellow, wild, remarkable and horse. Yeah, so you've got your 5 words. Like I say, try and include all of them if you can, but if one word has really stuck out to you there and you're like, yes, my poem's going to be entirely about that, then definitely go for that. Like I say, the whole point of this live is just to write what you want to write and feel inspired by whatever takes you. So I'll give us 10 minutes for this one, because this is probably going to be a slightly harder one to do. So yeah, 10 minutes, off you go, and yeah, see what you come up with. I think I might need to take a minute to sort of assess all these words, think about what comes into my head. I should mention as well that this can have any format as well, so I just like to free write basically and just get whatever's in my head on the page, but you can also do this in a certain structure if you want to. People, if you're just joining now, we're currently working on our second activity. There are 5 words in the chat, and we're just trying to write a poem that includes all 5 of those words. Hi people joining. So the 5 words that we've got are brazen, mustard yellow, which can be used separately if you want to, wild, horse and remarkable. And we're just trying to write a poem that includes either all of those words, or if one of those words really strikes you, then you can use that and write your own poetry from it. And as I was saying, it can have any structure as well, anything at all. If you work better with rhyme or doing stanzas, then you can absolutely use them. I personally just like to get whatever's in my head on the page. But yeah, write the poem however you wish it to be. try not to self-edit too much at this point as well. Just try and get down anything that you want on the page. Editing can come later. About 2 minutes left. I think I've managed to do it. I think I've managed to get them all in. There'll be one that I've forgotten. That's the end of the 10 minutes. I'm halfway through a sentence, so I'm going to keep writing. feel free to do the same. Okay, just give it another minute if people are finishing off. Hello to people joining. Hello. We're doing a couple of writing activities and we have just finished off our second one, in which we were using some randomly selected words to write a poem from. Don't worry if you've missed anything, I am going to pop this on our Instagram page afterwards, so if you did want to give it a go for yourself, absolutely. I should also say, if you have seen the whole thing, like I do the same activities over and over again, so it can be helpful to try it again. Obviously we would probably need different words, but I can always send some to you, or who knows, if we do another one, I'll make sure that I've got my leopard pot full of words ready. Cool. So we'll go on to our third activity. So this is actually something that I've never tried to do before, but I'm really excited to do it because I've always wanted to. One thing about poetry writing is that you don't always have to write from your perspective. The thing about poetry is it's very healing, and obviously it absolutely helps to put your own experiences into words. I do that quite a lot. I've just done it with the last poem that we've just written. It's something very personal to me. But you can kind of come out of your own head and write as different perspectives, and that's sometimes really refreshing as well, to write as if you're not yourself, as if you've got something else going on, and to see all these different perspectives. So we're going to try writing a poem as if we are a completely different person. This can be anybody, so it can be a celebrity, it can be someone from history, a famous person from a different era or a different period that did live, maybe they're not alive anymore. It could be someone fictional, so it could be someone from your favourite novel or a favourite story. Some examples of this, I think quite most famously is Carol Ann Duffy's World's Wife, in which the entire poetry collection is from the perspective of different women throughout time, history and fiction. U.A. Fanthorpe is another really good poet. She wrote a selection of poems that were all Shakespeare women characters. And yeah, just things like that really, really give me joy. Morgan Parker is another one who, she's not written from the perspective of Beyonce, but a lot of her poems kind of like have Beyonce as a theme, and they kind of lapse into her perspective. So yeah, just take a minute to think of someone that you would like to write from. And there's a kind of a few options for this one. If you have thought of a person and you're like, I really want to write from that person's perspective, and you're happy to just kind of go with it and write for it, you're more than welcome to. You can just free write as we do this next bit. But what I'm also going to do is I have basically like a set of interview questions, and I'm going to read them out and give you like a minute or two to write a line or two from them. Try and keep it short. I've got 10 of them. So we're just going to go through them, and then so your poem can end up as like a 10-line poem from the perspective of someone else. So I have someone in mind who I really want to write from, but like I say, it can be absolutely anyone. Femidis just said Beatrix Potter. Yes, oh my god, I love Beatrix Potter. My entire childhood was like Beatrix Potter. So yeah, anyone like that. So like I say, it can be someone who was alive, or someone historical. It could be someone who's still alive now, or yeah, anyone fictional as well. I've just thought of another one actually. Nikita Gill's work is also amazing. She has a collection where she writes from fairy tale characters' perspectives, so things like Little Red Riding Hood and Cinderella. And she's also got one where she's done Greek goddesses. So yeah, she's done like Hera, Athena and all that. So yeah, they're really good. So yeah, I won't set a timer for this one because I'm going to kind of be talking to you as we do it. But yeah, have your person in mind. You might want to write their name at the top of the page to remind yourself who you're writing about. However, the first question I'm going to give to you for your first line is who are you? But you can't use your name. So you can't use this person's name, you've just got to try and write who they are in different words. Who is this person? You can write what they do, or just what the idea of them, what they kind of embody. And again, for laying this out, if you could do it like this, you could do it like as if it is like an actual interview. That would be quite a cool idea. You can just write it without the questions involved. Or like I say, if you don't want to use the questions at all, feel free to absolutely not do that. You just write it however you want to do so. So, first question is, who are you? But you cannot use your name. Who are you? What might be a cool thing to do as well when we come to sharing our poems is, if we've chosen not to mention who they are, we could see if we can guess from what people have said, if we can guess who the person's writing about. So question 1, who are you but you cannot use your name? Question 2, how do you feel right now? So question 1 was, who are you? And question 2 is, how do you feel right now? If you're writing from the perspective of someone who is no longer with us, think of maybe what they'd be feeling right now. So think of maybe if they could see their kind of legacy today, if there's someone that's widely remembered, how would they be feeling? Did something happen after they die that would maybe be annoying them right now, or something that would make them really happy? Remember, you don't have to use these questions as well if you don't want to. It's absolutely just a suggestion to kind of get some ideas generating, or you can kind of use them as like little starting points for ideas. Each question can be a line as well, or it can just be a couple of lines. If you want to do a whole stanza on one question, you're more than welcome to, but I will probably move on, so just pop a thing in the chat if you need me to repeat anything. Question 3, how do others feel about you? So we've had, who are you, how do you feel right now, and then this one is, how do others feel about you? Question 4, What makes you feel alive? So question 4 is what makes you feel alive? What makes your character, the person you're writing from, feel alive? Question 5 is what haunts you? So what haunts your character? What maybe keeps them awake at night? What do they maybe regret? What haunts you? Question 6. What's the best thing you've ever done? So what does this person consider to be the best thing that they've ever done? It might not be what we think is the best thing they've ever done or what the general public is thinking, but what do you think that this person thinks is the best thing they've ever done? If you're just joining us now, so we're currently writing a poem in which we're pretending to be someone else. We're writing from a different character, and that can be anyone, historical, fictional. I'll do a recap of the questions that we've been using as inspiration. So we've had who are you? How do you feel right now? How do others feel about you? What makes you feel alive? What haunts you? What's the best thing you've ever done? And our next question is what's the worst thing you've ever done? I know we've just had the what haunts you question, but the worst thing you've ever done is something, the physical action that they've actually done. What did they do that they would maybe consider the worst thing that they've ever done? If you're finding some of the questions tricky to answer, you absolutely don't have to use them. You can just leave them out. But do feel free to use your imagination as well. We're not really thinking about historical accuracy at things at this point. And obviously if characters are fictional or we don't know much about them, we're within our rights to just kind of use a bit of creative freedom for now. Yeah, feel free to leave any questions out that don't gel with it. Question 8 is, what is your fondest memory? So you're thinking of this person, what do you think their fondest memory would be? So is it something to do with their family, their childhood? It could be something to do with maybe the career that they've had, but maybe it's something more personal. Maybe I'm struggling with this one now. My own questions have thwarted me. But like I say, if any questions don't really fit with the poem that you're writing, you can just feel free to leave them out. This is question 8, and we've got a couple more. If anyone's just joined, we're writing a poem from a different perspective. It can be someone historical, fictional, it can be someone celebrity. Recap of the questions are: who are you? How do you feel right now? How do others feel about you? What makes you feel alive? What haunts you? What's the best thing you've ever done? What's the worst thing you've ever done? And question 8, most recent question, is what is your fondest memory? So what is your fondest memory? Question 9, bit of a more vague one. Question 9 is, what is love to you? So to your character, what is love to them? Or if that's a bit tricky, you could say, who do you love? Who does this person love the most? But think of what the kind of concept of love that they might have. Is it a nice concept? Do they think of love as something warm and cherishing? Or is love maybe for them something to get more power? We don't necessarily have to be writing from the perspective of someone that we relate to. It could be someone completely different. So what is love to you? And question 10, what does the future hold for you? Or if you are writing from search for someone no longer alive, you might want to phrase it as, how do you want to be remembered? So you could choose either or there. What does the future hold for you? Or how do you want to be remembered? Remember, again, you don't have to use any of these questions at all. You could just be writing free form by yourself. So I'll whiz through the questions one last time. So writing a poem from the perspective of someone else. It was, who are you? How do you feel right now? How do others feel about you? What makes you feel alive? What haunts you? What's the best thing you've ever done? What's the worst thing you've ever done? What is your fondest memory? What is love to you? And what does the future hold for you? So how do you want to be remembered? There is only like 4 minutes left, I think, of this live. So what I will probably do is end it in a second, and then I'll jump back on. I will probably share some of my stuff to get it going. And then hopefully other people will want to share their stuff as well. If you've missed any of this, like I say, I will add it to our Instagram page feed, so you can go back and have a look through and do some of the activities again, or if you miss them, you can catch up on them. But yeah, I will probably end it here, and then if people are still writing, you can carry on with that. Although do please pop a message in now if you've missed anything, if you want me to go over anything. But yeah, I'll end it here, and then I will restart a new one. Again, feel free, if you don't want to share anything, that's absolutely fine. I understand. I've been in situations like that before. I'm like, please do not make me read this out. So I won't make anyone do anything. But it would be good if any of you could share anything, or even if you're not wanting to share anything, please do still join in, and it'd be nice to sort of listen to other people's and show some support. That would be also really nice as well. So yeah, I will end that here, and I'll see you in about a couple of minutes. After I figured out how to start a new one. Okay, guys, I'll see you in a second. Hi. yeah, so I think I've done that right with the video, and I think it should be on our feed now if you want to go back and watch anything. I think I did also manage to download it, so if I haven't put it up correctly, I will make sure to sort that. But yeah, hi. I'll just give it a couple of minutes for people to join back in if they wanted to. Oh, I have! Yay! Thanks, Jazz. Yeah, well, it makes me happy. I figured it out. I can do technology. I can survive in 2020 with all the new technology coming in. Yeah, I'll give it a few minutes for people to join again. But what I'll probably do is I know it's always hard to be the kind of first one to start. So I'll probably read a couple of my poems, or maybe just the one poem that I've written, just to kind of get the ball rolling. Hello, people who are joining. Hello. Yeah, I'll probably read one of my poems first, just to get the ball rolling. Because it's always hard to be the first one with anything. So I'm having to think which one I want to read out. Ooh, I'm kind of torn. Maybe I'll read two. I've got another hour, so I can fill the hour with reading poems. But also hopefully people will also want to share theirs, and we'll get like another little mini poetry event going. Yeah. So I think I'll read this one first. So the one that we did where we had the 5 words to read to use in the poem. Like I said, I think I managed to get all of them in. But as I'm reading it now, I'll probably realise I've forgotten one. So I'll read these out to you. So this was based on the words that we used in the activity, and just kind of the emotions and things that I connected them with. So like I said before, it's quite a personal one to me. So yeah, I'll go for that. I'll read that one out. I remember you holding my hand as we walked to the arena. I think I was 10. I clutched not only you but a programme. The arena floor was coated in sand, a mustard yellow that screamed artificial, but no one seemed to care. This was back when I used to be a horse girl, when every Christmas I would ask for a pony to sleep in our shed, when I wanted nothing more than a brazen white mare to ride. You took me to the horse shows to see all the animals I could not own. I wonder how long it took you to forget these shows, after your mind went wild, ran back in time to a moment before I existed, and forgot to come back. It's remarkable what the human mind can do. It can desire I can't even read my own handwriting, that's how bad this is. It can desire a white horse. It can choreograph a whole horse show. It can create a cure for cancer, create a poem. Eventually, it can make you forget someone you love. I'm no longer a horse girl, more a crazy cat lady. But I keep this memory with me, filed under wishful nostalgia. And I select it when I want to see a time when we were both happy. And I'm just wondering how long it'll take for the dust to settle on this one too. Okay, that was my my first one that we wrote with the word activity. Oh, I see hearts. Thank you. Thank you. Just to kind of keep it rolling and just to see if anyone else wants to join. I'll read the second one as well. I'll read out the one that we did for the activity that we've just done about being from a different perspective, because I was really excited to do this one. I'll just explain as well. I have written from the perspective, I know I was going to say like maybe to guess, but I kind of I feel like I might need to explain this a bit. I've written from the perspective of Taylor Swift, because I love Taylor Swift. She's someone that I admire a lot, and so I thought I would write a poem from her perspective. Oh, Jazz, thank you, Famida. Oh, thank you, all the comments, they're really lovely. Yay, thanks guys. Yeah, so bear with me while I unleash my Taylor Swift obsession for another time. And and this is written from her perspective. So I tried to do it following all the questions. I tried my best to kind of like answer them, but there were some that I found a bit tricky. So reading this back now, there are bits where I'll probably edit it later maybe. But like I say, it's always good to get a starting point. That's the whole point of this workshop, has been just to get something on the page and get writing. Editing can come later. It can come much later. I sometimes let poems brew for like years before I actually come back to them. So this poem is called Taylor Swift because it's written from the perspective of Taylor Swift. I'm America's sweet-turned sour heart. Was feeling bitter, but now I feel on fire. Now I feel in charge, in power. Loathed and loved, first loved, then loathed, then loved to be loathed. The feel of string or keys beneath my fingers, the words tumbling out. But maybe some of the words shouldn't have tumbled out. Maybe the knives I threw at women. I still let myself love, and I learned my lessons wisely. I got back up and brushed the acid off myself and became me. Maybe I trusted too much, let you in and gave you a key when I shouldn't have. I definitely should have said something sooner. But I think of your soft skin after the stage. I think of warmth, and I think of hearing the words, "You're all clear." Because love is everything. Some say it's my career, my only catch, but love is what keeps us moving, keeps me on my feet. I just hope my future glistens with your smile. I hope the soundtrack of our lives is a good one. I hope it never stops playing. And that is my Taylor Swift poem. Because I always wanted to write a poem as Taylor Swift. I like writing from a different perspective. I think I'm going to try that again. I think I'm going to see who else I can get perspective from. I was most inspired by Morgan Parker writing everything about Beyonce, because why wouldn't you want to write about Beyonce? But I think for me, Taylor Swift is my icon that I wanted to write as. Oh, thank you for the love. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Now I'm going to open the floor up. Is there anyone who would like to read their poem? You don't have to read. I know I've read 2 there. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to. If you want to read all 3, that's absolutely fine. I love hearing poems. I love seeing other people's creativity. Big up the Swifties. Yes, Adam. Swiftie for life. Hi, Becca. Yeah, did anyone have a poem they wanted to share? Of course you can, Jazz. Yeah. Oh my god, you might have to help me with my techie things here. Do people request? So, sorry guys, I had a moment there. Okay, Jazz, I'm going to try and get Jazz in to read. Oh my god, it works! Hooray! I was having a moment there, I was like, oh my god, this isn't going to work, is it? It's just going to be me tapping the screen. Hello!
Hi!
You alright?
Yeah, I am. Oh, your poems are so good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That really means a lot. Oh, thank you so much.
So, I want to read the one from the second.
The word challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2 of the words were mine. Mustard yellow and remarkable.
Oh yeah.
So like, yeah.
It was meant to be when you sent those words in. The world knew that they were going to come up.
So the word remarkable, for me, has a link to a very specific person. So I just instantly knew that it was going to be about this person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
I think I can manage to get all of them in as well. There's like a cheesy reference to a horse. I thought, I'm going to get them all in.
I love the cheesiness.
Okay, so we met to be close, but kept 2 meters apart. My heart melted when I saw your face, with a smile, given a hint of mischief, frolicking in the wild, well, the clough, climbing trees, feeling free, for the first time since we locked down. How could it be this easy? Almost cheesy. I laughed. You laughed. The night draws closer, darker, colder. In an instant, rules broken. I jumped and wrapped my legs and arms around your body. Contact. a thing forbidden by the constraints of social distancing, sat in the car, both longing to be in closer proximity. We are parked up, next to my nan's. What to do now? All I wanted was for you to be brazen, bold, my desire untold, my heart racing like a horse at the National. Then you kiss me. Whoa. A few weeks later, I am in the kitchen making my world famous guacamole, a recipe never to be improved. You swooped in and added mustard, swirled in that yellow paste, and alas, that became our secret concoction. So that's it.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I really like that exercise. I was like, but yeah.
It's an odd exercise. I started doing it like a few weeks ago and thought, oh, I'll never get anything good out of this. But just certain words, when you see them written down, they just kind of stick in your head, and then you produce masterpieces like that. Yeah, oh my god, I love that so much. There were so many things in there that like just really stood out to me.
Thank
I like
you.
a horse reference because you think of the Grand National horses, and I was in that moment then with you, like, yeah, the heart. So yeah, don't worry about cheese. It's always good. Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Did you want any of the out?
No, just that one. So I'll go off this, and then someone can pop on.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
Thanks, Jazz. Love you. Okay, I will try. Who else? Femida, did you say you wanted to do one? Let's get Femida in. Okay, I think I'm doing it. Put Femida in. Hello. Oh, this is going so well. Hi, you all right, darling?
I missed your first few because I went for a run really late and I was in the shower. But I did join in with your last one. You know, the 10 the 10 questions. Sorry. Okay, so I don't know if anybody remembers who I said I would do, but let's give this a go.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Well, I'm hoping I would have stuck to the questions anyway. Okay.
Don't worry about it at all. It was complete creative freedom. So yeah.
Okay. So it's. Let me put this somewhere so I can actually read what I wrote. Okay. After leaving all my land in the National Trust's hand, with animals coming alive from the books flowing over the hilltops, I looked down with gratitude filling my cup, happiness filling my soul, listening to recitations of Puddle Duck. If only the men that came before wouldn't see women as such a bore. But then, oh, how good it feels to be able to show them all. Looking back on family holidays all around the lakes, may you all enjoy and embrace moving forward with the same grace.
Yay! God, yes! I love that so much. So I did remember that you said Beatrix Potter, but I could tell from all of that you were like embodying her.
I'm glad. But yeah, I sort of got lost with some of the questions, but then I thought they'll probably overlap anyway. So I really enjoyed
that's probably on me for picking quite similar questions.
No, enjoy
little prompts, but yeah, I kind of encouraged to kind of just go in with it, whatever feels right for you. But yeah, that was so lovely. That's so good.
Thank you.
Talented.
But I'll off now, and then somebody else can go on. All right. I think I just kissed this. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Oh, this is so exciting. This is amazing. Did anybody else have a poem that they wanted to share? It can be any of the three, and you're more than welcome to share more than one. It also doesn't matter if you've not kind of stuck to the prompts. If maybe just while this was going on, you had like a bit of inspiration and wrote your own thing, that's absolutely fine. Does people want to send me a message? If they want to join. If you sent it earlier on, I might have missed it. Lauren, okay, let's see if we can do this again. So I've tried to add Lauren in. I may have not done it quite right. I'll just try that again. Oh. I can't seem to add you in at the moment, Lauren. Can you send a request or? Okay. I think I've sent the request. I think it's just loading. But yeah, while I'm just waiting for Lauren, yeah. So I'm really glad if you've found these activities really helpful. Like I say, if you want to go back through them and do more poems from them, that would be great. But yeah, I just hope that people have found it a bit inspiring, and you might get some good. Oh, hello!
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I had some technical issues there.
Oh, no worries.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you so much for this. It's been so
Oh,
good.
it's okay. I'm glad it's been
Loved it.
helpful. I'm glad, that it's been fun.
Good.
Yeah.
I thought I would do your last one because that was so much fun.
Oh,
So
good.
I went a bit off the rails. I thought I'd do it from the perspective of the Jabberwocky. I
Yes.
don't know if you've
Oh
read
my
the
God.
poem. Okay, get ready for the madness. Okay.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
I am the one they run from, where stealth is my wealth and the burning ember flames in my eyes. I'm lonely in the wood where I wander around for days on end, merely looking for a friend to spend my breath on. But the humans see me wrong. They see my giant form as though I am evil formed from frightening breath. But I am more than what they fear to see. I love to watch the bees as they dance around the tum-tum tree, as they do not bring swords aflame to claim my life on their knife. So I must stay awake through the night and creep around the forest just to stay alive, so that one day I may again grow the most beautiful tove the world has ever seen and display it proudly on my mantelpiece, feeling the peace it brings as I sing of my brother who died valiantly to keep me in safety. Who knew death could be looked on so fondly? But love comes in many forms, and I, for one, am warmed by this action of love. I hope one day I am remembered for my extraordinary feats, but the beat of my heart knows that this cannot be, for I am the only one left of my species. So I watch the bees and sing to the breeze and laugh sadly to myself at the ignorance of humanity. And that's the little Jabberwock.
Oh my God. Jabberwocky.
I love him.
I want to befriend him. Oh, that was wonderful. Oh my God, thank you so much
you.
for sharing that.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for joining.
Bye. Oh, I don't know how to do this. I'm very
it's all right.
technophobe.
I'll give it a go. So I'm bad with these things. Oh, thank you so much for joining. There we go. Oh my God, this has been so good. Such a good poem's been made. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that people have got inspiration from this and that it's worked well for you guys. Oh God, I just love hearing other people's poems. Amazing. Does anyone else is anyone else interested in sharing one? Have we got the ball rolling? Feel free to pop a message in and I'll add you in. But yeah. Oh, do you know, it's so funny when Lauren's just in a Jabberwocky poem, because when I was thinking of this activity, I thought Alice in Wonderland was one of the things that kind of came to my head, and Lewis Carroll's writings, and yeah, I don't know. It's just funny that it's kind of turned out that way. But yeah. Um, okay. If nobody else wants to share, I will wrap it up there. But this has been really enjoyable. I've been excited for this all week, so I'm really glad that it's kind of come together. Um, and yeah, do kind of like let me know, what you enjoyed in particular, what you thought worked really well. And yeah, and I just keep writing poems, just keep making sure that you give yourself that time for creativity, remembering not to be too hard on yourself. I think this is the main thing for me that I've learned, is just it's okay just to write whatever, and you don't have to worry about whether it's going to be like the next groundbreaking thing. But clearly, like, based on what people have read today, like, oh, those have been amazing poems, and you find that you could just kind of surprise yourself. So yeah, I just oh, sorry, I'm just having a moment where I'm just like amazed by like how talented people are and the amazing writing that I've come up with, and I'm so glad that it's kind of come from this workshop, because yeah, it's the first time I've ever done this, so it's good that it's worked out well and people have produced those incredible poems. This is so good. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your Saturday afternoon with me writing poems. Hopefully we can do it again sometime. But yeah, oh, thank you guys. Thanks for all the lovely comments. Oh, thank you. I'm glad people have enjoyed it. I'm glad you've been writing some poems. And yeah, just thank you so much to everyone who contributed then. Thank you to Becca and Jazz for the whole Blue Balloon week. It's been really good. I mentioned it before, but if you've missed any of our events this week, check us out on YouTube, and check out what we've got coming up. It's going to be a great weekend. We're going to have a really great time with all the stuff that we've got coming up. And yeah, if you want to check this out again, I'll put this one up on the Instagram page as well. I'll put it as part 2. And then people can go back. I'm going to be listening to some poems again, because oh my god, girls, you're all so wonderful. Thank you so much for contributing. I know it can be a scary thing to pop online and share your stuff, so thank you so much for joining and for reading them out. It's been lovely. But yeah, thanks guys, thank you for everything, and I'll hopefully see you soon. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekends. I hope it's really good, and yeah, love you all. Bye.